Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, August the 6th, 2020. It is currently 11:48 p.m. Central Time, and you're listening to the Currently On podcast, where we talk about what's currently on. Now, the original plan for this episode of the Currently On podcast, well, that plan is not happening. That plan blew up. That plan blew up into a million pieces, and I swept all of those pieces up and threw them in the trash. I'm like, okay, that's not going to happen tonight. Maybe we can come back to that plan at a different time. I realized maybe by 11:05 p.m. Central Time that I needed to change the plan and I needed to go in a completely different direction. And let me explain. Whenever you have a podcast, you can turn on the microphone and you can simply attempt to say, you can turn on the microphone and attempt to talk about the things that you think people want you to talk about and say the things about those things that you think the people want you to say. And so in a sense, you can chase your audience, try to please your audience, and try to just go along with everyone. And you say what they want to say. You say it how you think that they want you to say it. And many people do that. And you know what? If that's your thing, go ahead. But I kind of subscribe to a different philosophy. When I turn on the microphone, I can't worry about what I think people want me to say. I can't worry about what I think they want me to talk about. I got to be very genuine and very honest. I got to be very real. So when I turn on the microphone, I'm going to say what I think. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very transparent. At times I'm going to be very blunt. And I know that can offend people. And this episode, look, no matter what, I'm going to offend people. So many people are going to be offended with me by the time this episode is over that I may lose half of my audience. And we've been very successful, and this may be the end of the podcast. It really is. This may be the turning point where everyone who's following me stops following me. They stop listening to me, and our numbers plummet, and that's the end. But if it's the end, well, then I'm going to go out with a bang. Okay, I'm going to go out being honest and talking about what I think needs to be talked about. So here's what I hope. I know it's 2020, and I know the mindset in 2020 is this, is you listen to things that agree with your perspective. You listen to what you agree with. And if you hear something you don't agree with, you stop listening, or we have a very much this kind of cancel culture mentality. We try to cancel it and we try to silence it because we only want to hear what we agree with. But that stops personal growth. So I'm going to say some things that you may not agree with. In fact, I'm going to say some things that may be very countercultural. But you know what? I may go against the culture. I may go against maybe the way you think, but at least hear me out. At least try to hear my perspective, because I think this is I think what I have to offer will be interesting, and I think it needs to be said. And I know it's not going to be popular, but I'm going to say it anyway. All right. So first I need to give you a warning. We're going to be talking about something, and I'm going to be reading some lyrics to a song that was released tonight. And I'm not going to read the explicit words, but I'm going to have to try to give you a hint of what those words are. So some people may be offended when I'm trying to explain what the words are. And even when I'm not giving you the explicit words, the other words that I'm reading are going to, and for many people's perspective, are going to be very explicit. So you could be very offended. If you are, you may want to stop listening now. If you have small children, you definitely may not want them to listen to this. I'm just giving you that warning. But we're going to talk about them. We're going to be honest about it. And I'm going to give you my perspective. And so some people are going to be offended about what I say. Some people are going to be offended by how I say it. So the bottom line is there's a very good chance you're going to be offended in listening to this episode. But I think it needs to be discussed. Okay. Now, here was the original plan. It's New Music Night. For me, here in Abilene, Texas, at 11 p.m. Central Time, all the new music drops. So the original plan was to turn on this microphone, have my iPad in my hand, have all the streaming services I subscribe to, which is basically all of them, open. And then I would just say, hey, welcome to New Music Night. It's 11 p.m. Central Time here in West Texas. And let's start with Spotify. Here's the new music that just dropped on Spotify. Okay, here's this album. Okay, I think this one's going to be really popular. I'm really looking forward to this. Here's some of the songs. Here's the songs I've heard. Here's what I know about the album. Hey, let's look at another one. Let's look at another one. Oh, wait, let's go over to Apple Music. Here's what is showing up on the main page on Apple. Hey, let's go to Deezer and just have a fun, entertaining talk about new music, be excited about it, give you information, entertain you, and then get it posted by midnight. And then starting at midnight, then for the rest of the morning, all day tomorrow, waking up about new music, they would find hopefully our podcast episode, and they would be informed, and they would know what to listen to, and it would be a fun thing. So that was the plan. But there were some things that were causing a delay, so I couldn't start right at 11. So I said, I know what I'll do. As soon as the music starts, I can't start recording, but I can throw on some headphones. And I can at least start listening to the big things that are released. And one of the big things that was going to be released at 11 p.m. was the brand new song by Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion. And the name of the song, WAP or WAP. WAP or WAP. All right. And I was like, okay, Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion, WAP, WAP is going to be released. That's the big song. I've already done one podcast episode about it. So let me have the headphones on. Let me listen. And I started listening, and I made it about a minute and a half into the song. And I stopped, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I was discouraged. I was disappointed, and I was frustrated. And here's the reason why. All right. I want to put this song in its proper context, because you have to understand. All right. Now, maybe I shouldn't have looked at it this way, but I don't think you can ignore the context. It's 2020. It's August 2020. Let's just consider some of the things happening in our culture right now. Okay. Clearly, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. All right. COVID-19, people dying, people getting infected. We have lockdowns, shutdowns. We have major economic upheaval. People are worried about their job. We've got all the discussions about our kids going back to school, what's going to happen. So we have lots of chaos just when it relates to medicine, people's health, and finances. That's enough. Clearly, we're in a very divided country right now because we got an election coming up and people are very divided politically. And in the midst of all of that, we have literal protests happening in city streets in major cities across the United States of America. Some of those protests have been peaceful. Some have been violent. And some people support the violence. Some people don't. And that just leads to more division. And one of the major issues that those protests have been pointing out is issues dealing with race and racism and police brutality. All right. So we've been dealing with racism, equality, racial equality, racial inequality, police brutality. Do you defund the police reform? All of these issues. And also, it still continues to be spoken of in our culture, the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement, and about how women have been treated and how women have experienced sexual assault and nobody listens to them. And a lot of discussion about the sexualization of women, that women are viewed as sexual objects and not viewed as a person with value, irregardless to their sexuality. And a lot of these issues have been talked about in our culture. So it's a very volatile time with a lot of serious issues. And I'm very aware that a musical artist has no obligation to write a song talking about the issues happening in society. They're not under any obligation. Because when they write a song, they could go at it from a couple of directions, right? Direction one, talk about the issues happening in the culture and offer their perspective on it. They can either call for action, call for a change, or just offer their perspective, their feelings, their emotions. That's one option. Or two, they could say, you know what? I'm not going to talk about those issues, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to create music that will get everyone's mind off all of these issues and write a song that'll be fun, uplifting, positive, a celebration, and go that direction. And those are two directions someone could go. So when I saw that Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, two very talented women, were going to release a song, I was like, well, they could talk about a lot of the issues happening in our culture right now. They're women, so they could talk about some of the issues related to women. They may have obviously they would have a very clear perspective in regards to things dealing with race, so they could talk about that. So I was thinking maybe they'll talk about social issues. Maybe. I wasn't completely expecting it, but I thought it was a possibility. The other possibility, I thought, hey, this is a time to release a very fun, uplifting song that could possibly come in and kind of steal the summer and be the song of the summer that takes us out in a party, celebration, dance, fun, uplifting song. Yeah, it would have some of their bravado and some of their type of lyrics. I knew it was going to have some of that, but it would be kind of a positive, uplifting, fun song that would, could be, be all over radio and everybody would enjoy it. And it would be great. So those are the two directions I thought they could go. And any artist, again, I'm not saying an artist is bound to talk about social issues. Clearly they're not. And I want to make it very clear. I believe Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are extremely talented. To say otherwise would be foolish. They're very talented. Well, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, their new song, WAP, they decided to take a third. They took the third option, and the third option is, hey, and this is kind of when you listen to the song, this is kind of the direction they chose. We're not going to talk about social issues, and we're not going to try to give you kind of a positive, uplifting song of the summer. What we're going to do is we're going to give you music pornography. We're basically going to give you pornography. We're going to get a beat, and we're going to basically just give you pornography, and we're going to start the song off by saying "whores in the house." Whores in the house. We're going to have a man starting off speaking, saying whores in the house. I mean, and so I guess the whores are they referring to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion as whores? I mean, is that really, hey, me too. Let's start our song off with a man saying whores in the house. And then the two women will then be in the track. Like, how else do you interpret that? I don't know. Maybe, but that's okay. If a woman wants to be referred to as a whore, it's obviously it's her freedom to do so. Just seems kind of against the whole mindset that a lot of women have tried to establish and try to change. It just seems like weird that, these two powerful women are going to start a song with a man saying whores in the house. And then the next thing you got two women on the track talking about things in a very sexual way. In fact, I would say straight up pornography, pornographic. And look, they have every right to do that. I'm not saying that they don't. I don't want music, censored. I like freedom. They have the freedom to do so. It just seems like kind of disappointing. Of all the things going on, that's the direction they chose. They didn't give me really a feel-good, positive celebration, uplifting song of the summer. They gave me musical pornography. And I just think, couldn't they do something a little different? Maybe. Let's go through the track. So whores in the house. That's how it begins. Whores in the house. Obviously, I can't play any. This is, again, WAP, Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion. Here's how so whores in the house. I think it's repeated 2 times, maybe 3 times. Whores in the house, whores in the house, whores in the house. So that's kind of giving you the idea what it's about, okay? And then here's the lyrics. Now remember, these lyrics are going to be offensive to some of you. So but this is, obviously the song is going to be big. It's going to be streamed a bazillion times. It's going to be popular, obviously. So here we go. I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet A P. All right. Wet A, obviously referring to the backside of a person, and P, I think we all know what that refers to. Now, let's make it very clear. This is not the first time someone has taken their music and gone in quote unquote in a very sexually explicit direction. In the 80s, we had 2 Live Crew, 1991, Naughty by Nature, OPP. So I obviously I'm not like, oh, what's happened? No, this at all times in musical history, there are songs that are very sexually explicit. I understand that. It just feels like what we're going through, this is an odd direction to go. And well, let's see if it's creative, if there's something great about it. So here are the lyrics again. I said certified freak, 7 days a week, wet AP. All right. I think we all know what that refers to, right? Make that pullout game weak. All right. Okay. I think we know what that's referring to. Yeah. Yeah, you effing with some wet AP. Think we all know, again, what those words are. And you all know what the effing word is. Yeah, and again, I'm not using explicit language because this podcast is not set up to use explicit language. So I'm not going to do that. So you can say, well, you should just read the words. No, I'm not going to do that on this podcast. So here we go. So yeah, you effing with some wet AP. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet AP. Wow, that's deep right there. That's good. All right. Give me everything you got for this wet AP. Beat it up inward. Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. We all know what we're referring to there. Put this P right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Really? Really? Now, maybe I should have expected this. Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, there'll be people saying you should have just realized this. Maybe I was naive. Maybe I was just expecting something different considering everything happening in our world. Maybe, but really put your pee in your face, swipe your nose like a credit card. I mean, hop on top. I want to ride. I do a Kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This pee is wet. Come take a dive. Tie me up like I'm a surprise. Let's role play. I wear a disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage. Okay. Make me scream. I'm not going to read the lyric before it. Out in public, make a scene. I don't cook. I don't clean. But let me tell you how I got this ring. Gobble me, swallow me, drip down inside of me. Quick, jump out before you let it get inside of me. I mean, come on. I mean, obviously we know exactly what they're talking about. I tell him where to put it. Never tell him where I'm about to be. I run down on him, for I have a N running me. Talk yo S, bite yo lip. Ask for a car while you ride that. Not going to say the word. You really ain't never got to F him for a thing. He already made his mind up before he came. Now get your boots and your coat for this wet AP. He bought a phone just for pictures of this wet AP. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet AP. Now make it rain if you want to see some wet AP. Look, I need a hard hitter. I need a deep stroker. I need a Henny drinker. I need a weed smoker, not a garden snake. I need a king cobra with a hook in it. Hope it lean over. He got some money. Then that's where I'm headed. PA1, just like his credit. He got a beard. Well, I'm trying to, okay, you get it. I let him taste it. Now he diabetic. I don't want to spit. I want to gulp. I want to gag. I want to choke. I want you to touch that little, yeah. I'm not going to keep going. You get it. Yeah. Yeah. I could just keep going. I mean, it just keeps going on in that direction. Yeah. I think you get the idea. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. I'm not even gonna, I mean, there's nothing that changes at any point in the song. It's just one, basically it's one sexually explicit reference over and over and over. It's just sexually explicit reference referring to the parts of the body of a male and a female in all kinds of different ways, and different ways of engaging in sexual activity, just done over and over and over and over and over and over. There you go. Now you may think the music is good. You may think it has a good beat. You may think it's super catchy, but I'm just like, really? That's what we get. Hey, Cardi B with Megan Thee Stallion, they're going to release a song. Yes, it gets all the publicity. It gets all the buzz. Okay, what direction are they going to go? Okay, could they give their perspective about what's happening in the world? They could. Could they give us a feel-good anthem for the summer? They could. Or, well, I wasn't expecting. Just give me basically straight up pornography set to a beat. Now, some of you may love pornography set to a beat. Okay, congratulations. You've got your song of the summer. Enjoy it, okay, if that's your thing. I just think that they are talented and they could have used that talent to do something else. And I could sit there and read the rest of the lyrics. You can look at them for yourself. You know, you can draw your own conclusion. But my conclusion is it's disappointing. That's all I can say. It's disappointing. I just wish they would have done something different. I just think they had a good opportunity. They're talented. They're well known. They have a big platform. They could use that. And again, I'm not saying that they had to go with talk about what's happening in the world. I'm saying that they could have gone with a more uplifting, positive message that brings everyone together. That's a good time. Now, some people may feel like it's a good time song, but man, really? With those lyrics? Wet AP, really? Come on. And just use it's almost like every cheap little sexual innuendo and sexual metaphor. Some of them are just explicitly sexual references. And it's just like, come on. And hey, let me see here. Go to the end of the song. I don't think it gives me. Yeah, I don't have the, see if I got the details here on, artist. Let's see here. Cardi B. I'm trying to see if we get songwriters. No, we don't. And I don't think, let me go here to the bottom of the lyrics. No, I thought maybe we'd get a list of who's responsible for writing such a masterpiece. But there you have it. Yeah, I feel like I should read all of the lyrics, but I at some point it just like it just feels ridiculous even trying to read the lyrics. It really does. It just feels ridiculous trying to read them. And I know that this is a common thing to say a lot of this. I mean, there's a lot of songs that have done this in the past, in the present. So I'm not saying this is the first one. Maybe I was just thinking 2020, two women, and we're going to start with whores in the house. And then the two women basically act like whores. And hey, we're going to get this, we're going to do this, and we're going to have sex, and we're going to do this and do this. And okay, whores in the house. Yay. Okay. And it's just, I mean, come on. I just feel like that it could have been more. Maybe that's maybe I just wish, maybe I was hoping for more and it didn't turn out more and I'm disappointed. I just don't think the song can be listened to without considering the world in which we live and a lot of the things that have been discussed. And I just feels weird to me for the song to start with whores in the house. It really does. And, I'm not here to get on some moral high horse in this podcast. I'm not here to look at it, from some perspective of morality for this podcast. And for this podcast, I'm just looking at it from the perspective of talented women who had an opportunity, had a platform, had all kinds of buzz, and what they give us is musical pornography. I just wished for something different. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe that's on me. Maybe I'm foolish. But you can tell me what you think. Do you think WAP WAP by Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion, do you think it's an amazing piece of art? Do you think it's great? Do you think it's just fun and catchy? Do you think it's that uplifting song of the summer? Maybe you feel like it's uplifting. By the time I'm done with it, I'm just shaking my head going, really? That's what you're going to give me? That? Really? Okay, I'm just going to go listen to something else. I'm not saying it's not catchy, and you can draw your own conclusion about the musical talent in it and the beat chosen and how it's produced, and you can talk about that, but I can't get past the lyrics Because I mean, after a while, I'm just like, really? And that happens with a lot of songs, and especially sometimes, and I hate to say it, sometimes in the rap and the R&B world, sometimes you're just like, come on. But there you have it. There's my take. The Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion gave us musical porn. There's really no other way to describe it. You can state how talented you think it was, or you can determine if you think it was just garbage. I'm not going to give you that. I'm not going to make that judgment. My judgment, and I don't want anyone to misunderstand me, is disappointment and frustration that 2020, two powerful women start a song with a man saying whores in the house, and then they act like basically whores in the song. And it just seems that we could have gotten something better, something more, and that they could have used their talents. They could have pushed themselves. To me, it's just, you're just going with the lowest common denominator. Hey, let's just be as sexually explicit as possible. And maybe that's their thing. Maybe that's their shtick. And maybe that will make them rich. And maybe that's all that matters. But at some point, they can look in the mirror and go, what are you saying to the women and the young women who look up to you? Like, do you have anything to say to them? But maybe that's not their thing. And it doesn't have to be their thing. If this wants to be, they have the freedom to do whatever they want. They do. And I'm not going to criticize that. They can choose what they want. Now, obviously, I have the freedom to offer an alternative opinion. And so I'm offering a counter opinion that maybe goes against the culture, maybe countercultural. But I think it needs to be said. 2020, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, they made a choice. They gave us a new song, WAP, WAP, and they decided to go musical porn. And you can decide if you think it's great or not. You don't have to agree with my opinion, but I'm going to offer it, and I'll let the chips fall where they may. Thank you for listening. And I know that I typically put the songs I talk about on the currently on radar playlist on Spotify. I don't even know if I'm going to put the song there. I really don't. I don't even know, because I know I'm not going to be listening to it anymore. I'm not. Yeah, but obviously you don't need that playlist to find it. Maybe it's going to hurt that playlist getting more likes and more follows. But again, I just got to be real here. I'm not a fan of the song, but we'll see. It'll probably be super popular, and there'll probably be someone trying to talk about, look how deep it is, and look what they're really trying to say. And I'm just going to be shaking my head going, yeah, whatever. But there you have it. If you're really mad at me, obviously you don't have to listen to me anymore. And again, this may be the end of the podcast. I don't want it to be, but you got to take those risks. newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. Rain down your hatred towards me. I'm willing to receive it. So we'll end it this way. 2020, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, release a new song, WAP, WAP. They decided to just go the direction of musical porn. They start the track with a man saying whores in the house. And then for all practical purpose, they act like whores in the song. Sexually explicit, using every kind of sexual metaphor, innuendo, just a downright explicit discussion about sex, sexuality, sexual act. And that's what they gave us. If that's your thing, go enjoy it. Not here to argue with you. But I want to offer a different perspective, and maybe I should have expected, maybe this is what I should have expected, but for some weird reason, I was expecting something else. And as a result, I'm disappointed. There you have it. Everyone have a good night. Go listen to something, even if that's what you want to listen to. Go listen to it. Enjoy it, because life is short. Thank you.